Let me start by saying this. Softness can sometimes be a form of selfishness. It feels easier to avoid hard conversations, to let things slide, or to tolerate mediocrity because it spares us discomfort. But what does it cost everyone else? Clarity is better than comfort. In every relationship, professional or personal, there comes a moment when honesty is required. Yet, we hesitate. Why? Because telling the truth feels risky. We worry about hurting feelings or damaging relationships. But when we sugarcoat the truth, we're not protecting others, we're protecting ourselves. Real leadership requires saying what needs to be said. Now, let me be clear, kindness isn't weakness. Firmness, accountability, and high standards are some of the greatest acts of care we can show. Imagine this, a coach who never critiques an athlete's performance because they don't want to be too hard. Does that make them kind? Or does it make them negligent? True kindness lies in challenging others to grow, not coddling them into complacency. Here's the thing about expectations. People rise or fall to the level you set. If you tolerate less than someone's best, you send a silent message. This is all I believe you're capable of. That's not compassion, that's limitation. By being soft, we deny others the opportunity to stretch themselves, to struggle, and to discover what they're truly capable of achieving. Conflict can be uncomfortable, but it's also necessary. Avoiding it might feel safe, but it stunts growth. Think about the relationships or teams you admire most. Chances are they didn't get there by avoiding difficult conversations. They faced them, wrestled with them, and came out stronger. Growth is forged in discomfort, not ease. And finally, we must remember the long-term view. Being soft might smooth things over today, but it often leads to regrets tomorrow. When you avoid the hard decisions or let accountability slide, the problems don't disappear, they compound. Prioritizing short-term comfort at the expense of long-term progress is a disservice to everyone involved. So I urge you, stop being soft to everyone. Not because toughness is a virtue in itself, but because honesty, accountability, and courage are. People don't need you to be easy on them. They need you to believe in them enough to challenge them. Clarity over comfort is about valuing honesty and transparency, even when it feels uncomfortable. Too often, we shy away from saying what truly needs to be said because we fear the immediate discomfort it might bring. We hold back feedback, avoid difficult conversations, or sugarcoat the truth in an attempt to preserve harmony. While the intention might seem noble, protecting someone's feelings or maintaining a positive atmosphere, the reality is that this approach often causes more harm than good in the long run. When we avoid being clear, we risk creating confusion and resentment. People can't fix problems they don't know exist. And vague or softened feedback leaves room for misinterpretation. It can lead to frustration when expectations aren't met or when behaviors don't change. And yet, the responsibility often lies with us for not communicating effectively. Being clear requires courage. It demands that we prioritize the well-being and growth of others over our own desire to avoid discomfort. It's not about being harsh or critical for the sake of it. It's about delivering the truth in a way that is both direct and constructive. Clarity helps build trust. When people know they can rely on you to be upfront, even when the message is difficult, they'll respect you for it. Moreover, clarity strengthens relationships. It shows that you care enough to address issues rather than letting them fester. It says, I believe in you enough to have this conversation because I know you're capable of handling it. In this way, clarity is not just a tool for accountability, it's a profound act of respect and care. When we choose clarity over comfort, we create an environment where growth and progress can thrive. We empower others to improve, align efforts more effectively, and build stronger, more authentic connections. While it may feel uncomfortable in the moment, the outcomes are worth every ounce of courage it takes to embrace this approach. Kindness is often misunderstood as being agreeable, lenient, or avoiding conflict, but true kindness is far more complex and powerful. It doesn't mean saying yes to everything or shying away from difficult conversations. In fact, kindness often requires the courage to say no, set boundaries, or hold others accountable. It's about prioritizing what is best for someone's growth, well-being, or success over what might feel good in the moment. When we equate kindness with softness, we fail to see the depth it truly holds. Real kindness involves pushing others to reach their potential, even if it means delivering hard truths. For instance, imagine a teacher who never corrects a student's mistakes for fear of upsetting them. While this may seem kind on the surface, it ultimately deprives a student of learning and improvement. the teacher's reluctance to challenge them does more harm than good. They would ultimately be depowering the next generation and making themselves possessive of strength rather than inconceivable. Kindness also shows up in the way we support others through accountability. It's not about criticizing or tearing someone down. It's about helping them recognize areas for growth and offering guidance to move forward. Holding someone accountable isn't an act of cruelty, it's an investment in their future. When done with empathy and respect, it strengthens relationships rather than weakening them. Furthermore, kindness is about understanding the bigger picture. It's about doing what's right rather than what's easy. A parent who enforces discipline and sets expectations isn't unkind. They're preparing their child for the realities of life. Similarly, a leader who challenges their team to meet high standards isn't being harsh. They're demonstrating faith in their capabilities. Kindness is not the absence of strength. It's the presence of it. It requires emotional intelligence to navigate tough conversations and offer constructive feedback in a way that uplifts rather than diminishes. It takes strength to balance empathy with firmness, compassion with resolve. True kindness isn't afraid of discomfort. It embraces it for the sake of growth and integrity. By reframing kindness as an active, courageous choice, we recognize its potential to inspire change, foster growth, and build deeper, more meaningful connections. Expectations have a profound influence on behavior, performance, and outcomes. They act as invisible forces, shaping how people see themselves and what they believe they're capable of achieving. When we set high expectations, we're not just asking more from others, we're signaling that we trust in their ability to meet the challenge. Conversely, low expectations can subtly communicate doubt or a lack of belief in someone's potential. When people know what's expected of them, they gain clarity and direction. Clear expectations provide a framework for effort and focus. They help individuals understand what success looks like and motivate them to rise to the occasion. Without defined expectations, people often feel lost or unsure, leading to disengagement or subpar performance. The act of setting expectations isn't just about structure, it's about showing respect and confidence in someone's ability to succeed. On the other hand, being too lenient or vague with expectations can lead to missed opportunities for growth. When we lower the bar to make things easier or avoid creating pressure, we unintentionally limit the potential of those around us. People often rise or fall to the level of expectations placed on them. A team member who knows their leader expects greatness is more likely to push themselves, while one who senses complacency may deliver only what's minimally required. Expectations also foster accountability. When someone understands the standards they're being held to, it creates a sense of ownership and responsibility. This isn't about micromanagement or inflexibility. It's about creating an environment where individuals feel empowered to take charge of their roles and deliver their best work. Accountability through clear expectations isn't a burden. It's an opportunity for individuals to showcase their abilities and grow. The power of expectations extends beyond performance. It impacts self-perception. When someone feels that others genuinely believe in their potential, it builds confidence and encourages resilience. They begin to internalize those beliefs, creating a cycle of self-fulfilling progress. High expectations can be a catalyst for discovering untapped abilities, but they require balance, challenge without overwhelming, and support without enabling. Setting expectations is not just a managerial tool, it's a reflection of how much we believe in someone's capacity to grow. It's a way of investing in their success and showing that their contributions matter. It requires intentionality, thoughtfulness, and faith in the human potential to rise to challenges. When done right, expectations have the power to transform outcomes and inspire extraordinary efforts. Conflict is an inevitable part of human interaction, yet it's often something we instinctively avoid. It feels uncomfortable, challenging, and even risky. However, avoiding conflict doesn't make it disappear. It simply drives it underground, where it festers and grows into something far more destructive. Courage in conflict means confronting issues head-on with the intention to resolve, learn, and grow, rather than allowing them to undermine relationships or progress. Engaging in conflict requires bravery because it involves vulnerability. It means exposing your thoughts, feelings, or perspectives, knowing they may be challenged. This vulnerability, though uncomfortable, is the foundation of meaningful communication. It allows for honesty, fosters understanding, and paves the way for solutions. Without courage in conflict, misunderstandings persist, resentment builds, and relationships can erode over time. The act of addressing conflict is not about winning or proving a point. It's about seeking resolution and building trust. When we approach disagreements with the courage to listen as much as we speak, we open the door to empathy. We begin to see the situation not just from our perspective, but from the other person's as well. This mutual understanding is what transforms conflict from a destructive force into a constructive opportunity. Avoiding conflict, on the other hand, creates a false sense of peace. It might feel easier in the moment, but unresolved issues have a way of resurfacing, often in ways that are harder to address. What starts as a minor disagreement can snowball into a significant barrier to communication and collaboration. Courage in conflict means addressing these issues early, when they are still manageable, and before they create lasting damage. Conflict also serves as a crucible for growth. It challenges assumptions, tests patience, and forces us to refine our communication skills. Each time we step into a difficult conversation with courage, we build resilience. We learn how to navigate tension, articulate our needs, and find common ground, all of which are essential for personal and professional growth. Moreover, the courage to face conflict signals respect. It shows the other person that their perspective matters enough to engage with, even if it's uncomfortable. It demonstrates a commitment to the relationship, whether that's with a friend, colleague, or team. By choosing to address conflict rather than avoid it, we reinforce the idea that the connection is worth the effort. Courage in conflict isn't about confrontation for its own sake. It's about fostering environments where honesty and growth are prioritized. It's about choosing the harder, braver path because it leads to stronger relationships, clearer communication, and better outcomes. The discomfort of conflict is temporary, but the strength it builds lasts far longer. Taking the long-term view requires resisting the pull of immediate gratification or ease in favor of decisions that yield sustainable benefits. It's human nature to gravitate toward what feels good in the moment, avoiding conflict, making compromises to preserve harmony, or settling for shortcuts. However, this short-term thinking often comes at a cost. When we prioritize comfort today, we risk creating challenges that will demand even greater effort to resolve tomorrow. Focusing on the long term means understanding that growth and success are rarely linear or immediate. Progress often requires uncomfortable choices and moments of discomfort that, while difficult in the present, pave the way for stronger outcomes in the future. This perspective demands patience and foresight, qualities that can be difficult to embrace when immediate pressures feel overwhelming. Yet it's this kind of vision that separates temporary fixes from lasting solutions. In relationships, taking the long-term view means prioritizing honesty and accountability even when it's uncomfortable. Avoiding difficult conversations to maintain short-term peace may seem like the easier path, but it often allows misunderstandings or frustrations to accumulate. By addressing issues as they arise, with a focus on strengthening the connection, we build trust and resilience that serve the relationship well over time. In leadership and decision-making, a long-term approach requires aligning actions with core values and goals rather than being swayed by immediate gains. It involves making investments in people, systems, or strategies that may not pay off right away, but are essential for sustainable success. This can mean nurturing talent, even when it's easier to rely on quick solutions, or committing to ethical practices that may require greater effort, but build integrity and reputation in the long run. The long-term view also calls for adaptability. It recognizes that setbacks and challenges are not failures, but opportunities to learn and recalibrate. While the short-term perspective might treat obstacles as roadblocks, the long-term mindset sees them as part of the journey. It embraces the idea that meaningful progress often requires persistence through trials and a willingness to evolve in response to changing circumstances. In the end, the choice to stop being soft to everyone isn't about being harsh or unkind. It's about being courageous, intentional, and honest. It's about prioritizing growth over comfort, clarity over ease, and long-term progress over temporary harmony. So let us commit to this, to challenge, to grow, and to lead with courage. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Thank you.